bad guys are out there right now. You go home, you bring them with you. Are you under control? Are you? No.
Black cars, all black, everything.
I've got 4 more agents out on the street.
I counted 6, but thanks for the tip.
You boys really ripping up. Hold up.
I like the new team.
We're the 355.
Hi, Jessica, how you doing?
I'm good, Jamal. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I learned something new in this film about the 355 and this female contingent of spies in the American Revolution, which is believable to me because I know we're in an era of gender equity, but in my mind, what's your opinion? Do you think females are naturally better spies than men?
Interesting. There's been people in the CIA who believe women are very good spies because they can multitask in a different kind of way. I guess the same way a lot of times in the household, they're like in charge of the kids and then like the schedules and all of that stuff and the calendars. There's a way of seeing the big picture. But I think also, I don't want to, stereotype that because I think men are also capable of that as well. I think sometimes we've been conditioned by society to be certain ways or the other. But I do know for a fact, just from working on Zero Dark 30, that there's a huge group of women that were very instrumental in finding Osama bin Laden. And the woman that I play in Zero Dark 30 actually was a consultant on
That brings me to my next question. You've played 60 roles, which is you have 60 roles on your IMDb, which is
That's true. 60,
yeah.
60.
Yeah, same
That's
as
crazy.
Denzel Washington, same as Michael B. Jordan, which is curious. The last couple of interviews, I keep getting to 60, and I wonder, is there any roles that are harder to divorce than others?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are some characters that I just fall in love with. I mean, the reality is I fell in love with Tammy Faye Baker when Tammy Faye, when I studied her for 7 years. I, got to know her kids. I just loved her voice, the folksiness of it. And so when I stopped filming that, I was really quite sad because it was a sense of I never got to meet her in person and I didn't want to say goodbye to her. I felt the same way with Celia Foote in The Help. I loved playing that character. I think when I'm playing a character that illuminates a part of me that I don't normally get to express, whether it be like loving or silliness or, sometimes in work, I don't really get to show that side of myself. I definitely miss those characters.
I know you've done a lot of Shakespearean work on stage with like Othello and Romeo and Juliet, and of course, Denzel and a great cast are playing in Tragedy and Macbeth. In your opinion, is there any Shakespeare play that hasn't been on film that you like to see made into film?
That hasn't been made into a film. I feel like everything has been made because of the BBC and they film all their plays. But if I had the opportunity to do something, I would love to do As You Like It. It's a play that I love so much because Rosalind teaches Orlando how to love, right? She tells him, basically she's like, this is what you need to do to be a good boyfriend or to show up in love. Yeah. And, of course she's disguised as a man when she does it, but I find it so exciting to have that female character really lay out what she feels she's deserving of and to have him meet it.
And last question. I know we're all going through this pandemic, and even like one of your castmates are going through it right now.
I know.
If we go on lockdown, and I'm knocking on wood and crossing my fingers that we don't go on lockdown again, would you do anything different this lockdown than you did the first?
Well, the first lockdown, it was before we were vaccinated. I was taking care of my grandmother, so I was terrified, like anyone coming into my house. I just like, it was my goal. I had to keep my grandma safe. I didn't know much about the virus. I didn't know, what we could do to get out of it. So it definitely feels easier this time. My grandmother's been vaccinated. She's been boosted. She's now safely at her home she can see her friends. I feel less of a, I got to keep people alive around me situation, because I feel like science is working, and, we are moving forward in a very careful way, but I really am done with this. Aren't you done with this?
Yeah,
I'm so like, every time I hear from a friend that they tested positive, I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry. But the great thing now is, it used to be I was afraid for their mortality. And now when they test positive, I'm like, okay, I'm really sorry, but I'm not like worried about, the seriousness of what they've gotten, because, in all instances that I know of, they've been vaccinated.
But I thank you for your time. I hope we could get on the other side of this so we can sit in the same room again and keep on doing these great roles. I love the 60 roles you've done. I can't wait to see 60 more. So keep doing your thing.
In 10 years. Wow. Thank you so much.
You're amazing. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.